Hello everybody and welcome back to Witcombe Park Farm. So we left off in the previous episode, just parked up there, so we are just starting to get this field cultivated because this really wants to go in with some canola, which I'm thinking we've got the sprayer up there, so we should be able to get it drilled and fertilised and all that without spending too much money, unless we go down the route of getting the pulse width and the seeing spray, which may very well be an option, just to try and save money in the long run. That's not the course I wanted to go on. I wanted to go on this one. And it's just surprising that we've got 180 odd horsepower here, but yet we're struggling to pull this disc harrow, which is not good. I'm hoping you can see a difference in a lot of things, because I have put in the ultra textures that you can buy, so I've put them in, so I'm hoping that sees a difference. I have also changed and messed around with the graphic settings a bit to try and make sure that works, and to try and maximise the field of view, that circle of death or ring of death or whatever it is. I've tried to push that out as far as possible without having the same problems that I had previously, of where we were having a VRAM crash, I think it was. I've also tried to, and failed miserably, I've got some Beats headphones, so I thought, well, if I could Bluetooth them to the computer, or to the tower, however you want to call it, then I would finally be able to listen to the game, because obviously, I think I mentioned it quite a few times, I play in silence. So, but I'm unable to do that, so I don't know whether I've got a Bluetooth problem with my computer, which I have no clue in regards to anything of that sort. So how to sort it out, no idea. To the point of where I'm sort of now starting to think, should I get a cable and put it in? Because it would be quite nice to listen to it. So I am, and I hope it's not being picked up by the microphone. I do have my speakers on turned low so that I can actually hear what's going on. And it's predominantly because of the manual attach to know whether you've push something in or not, because when you get to your pipes and all that sort of thing, your pipes make a noise. Anyways, so I think we will get cracked on. We'll get this field. Oh, did we come off the course? Why has it done that? Oh, because we changed onto a different course. So I think we'll get on, try and get this field done. I want to get on and try and get canola into it, which does mean we will have to look at a set of rolls, and it's whether we buy a set of rolls or whether we just lease some. Leasing rolls always seems a bit counterintuitive, because they should in time make you money once they're paid off, but at a 2.5%, is it 2.5% extra increase in your yield? It's going to take a fair bit of time, unless we buy some really cheap ones, which I don't really know. If we go into here and down to rolls here, okay, we do have a few in, so it's something to have a look at. This disc harrow, it's just about perfect for the size of fields that we have at this current moment in time. Like, that didn't seem like too big a job to do. I think it's 4.5 meters maybe. I know if we were in that field or that field there, it would be a completely different story. But for doing this field, that was absolutely perfect. Cool. Right, we now need to move on and go get our seed drill. And the nice thing about getting this seed drill now is we're finally cleaning up all the equipment that I put in for the start of this Let's Play. And I haven't actually used this drill before, so that's rather exciting. So that's a grain store. That is our diesel tank, and it's quite a good shed for putting a bunch of trailers in by the looks of it. So I reckon, should we stick with putting stuff into here for the time being? So let's unfold this. And we can just put that here. And now let's go do all our pipes. So pipes, unhitch. Mind your toes, that would hurt if you drop that on your foot. And we'll go get the seed drill. What we will also need to go get is the Kramer so that we can put the seed on, because like I said, that's one thing I would like to try and keep as well as we can do. So pipes, PTO, let's lift her up. And how do we open the cover? Is that open the cover? There we go. So I imagine it will have to need to be unfolded, so let's park it something like that. Now where is the Kramer? What I'm also going to do just to help the Kramer out is lower it down, and I imagine I've left it over. That's cool, little details like that, that's awesome. Whichever joiner though cut those boards to size wants sacking. But yeah, we'll jump into this, because then we should be able to go put a bag or two of seed. Well, put both bags of seed in, because I can't see us doing any planting for the foreseeable future. Right, let's see. Let's go in cab for this. It's not the greatest, these things, for viewing to pick up pallets, but something like this, I would imagine it won't be too bad. So let's just narrow it up a bit. Okay, we've missed that. So let's go down. Have we only got one? Let's get the... There we go. We've now got both of them. Let's just make sure that, well, let's just hope that they don't fall off the tines. And with this being lowered down now, we may be able to get these in. Like so. So I don't actually know what the capacity of this seeder is. So we'll have to find that one out, because that is now full. So where can we, just to keep these bags of seed so that they don't get wet, where can we go and put these? This looks like not too bad of a shed, because you're not going to be able to get much, like big equipment and stuff like that, you're not going to be able to get much in. Oopsie. Right, let's put them down like so. We'll put our tires on the floor in case anyone comes walking through. And let's go back to here. And what's that? 1,600 litres. That's very, very good. So let's close that. Lift it up and we can fold it just to get through the yard. So is this an American seeder? And I only ask because of the horse on the back. Just reminds me of like a Mustang or something like that. And Mazcar. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out though. But right, let's go on to here. And what is our working width? 6 meters, that's lovely. Steering assist, let's put that on. And I want to start, because I don't want to get caught like we did last time, of where we were right down the far end. No, I don't want wheat. Thank you for reminding me. Let's go for canola. Okay, let's do canola. Better just make sure on the mini map now. I'm hoping I'm not wrong in that. Yes, a canola is in. And we've got the seagulls, which I found out the other day that in regards to the gulls, I think there's a setting that you can click for how often, like the chances of them coming and how many there is and the noise of them all. So I have turned the noise down, and I think I've turned the quantity down. But anyways, I think let's just get cracked on with this. It shouldn't take us too long because we're 6 metre working with, which is a fair size to be fair. So, who else noticed that? I'm going to guess that it definitely is from America. And also, time is really not on our side at the minute because it is starting to come dark very, very quickly, and we need to get this rolled. So I have a feeling, well, not a feeling, and I pretty much well know that we're going to be working well into the night. So we need to have a look at what rolls we're going to, I presume, lease. But what was that? That was a 6. This is a 6 metre cedar, is it? 6 metre cedar. So if we go on to here and rolls, what do we have for 6 metres? See, that's 9.4, 7.6, 7.8. That's bigger. 6.4. That doesn't actually look too bad of a roller. What do we go? I'd like to go with the Amazon because it is something a bit different. And I'm just trying to work out: do we buy it or do we lease it? That's what I can't decide at the moment. If it was a normal sort of let's play, then I would go and I'd just buy it straight away. Then we've got it. Then I don't need to worry about it anymore. But obviously this, we need to be very, very careful with what we do with our money. So, I don't know. Let's take that off, and we will drop that down. And I'll have a think as we ride to the store of what's the best thing. But once we've got it, there's no more expenditure to pay. And it's like, what if we were to lease it? Because we'll need to have it twice. We'll need to hold it on lease. If we were to go customize and lease, so £1,000, it soon adds up. And then obviously if you put in the added benefit of the yield increase. Oops. Right, let's go and get our new purchase. I cannot do this series like this all the time, but I do love the Amazon brand, Amazon machinery, all that sort of thing. So we'll go gather it up, and then we'll have to come back and get that field rolled. So I appreciate the Diablo. Is it Diablo 1? is wider and cheaper, but there really isn't too much difference in it. That's why I don't mind obviously going just for something like this, you know, for a bit of a change really. So put pipes in, obviously there's no PTO, so let's take this back. I'm very excited to use this. I may put this as the thumbnail for this episode. And currently at the minute I am thoroughly enjoying playing, uh-oh, there's a bit of crash there by the looks of it, thoroughly enjoying playing on this map. So I royally messed up how to have to roll that field. But anyways, I don't think in the grand scheme of things it's going to matter too much. So we just need to get this folded up and then we can look to go put it away. And this can be one of the items that we can put in one of these left hand sheds up here. And I think if we put this away, we can then move on. That was close to the wall. We can then move on to another month. And we might as well, considering we are just getting this this field completely done, we might as well move on to another month and then get straight in with that IBC liquid fertilizer that we have and get it fertilized. And then the only thing after that to do will be, I imagine, the weeds. And I keep pressing the button to is it Q? I keep pressing Q in cab to drop it, forgetting that we have manual attach on. Right, the house is up here, so we're going to drive to it, and then we can rest. And this is the first time resting at our house. Can you drive around this way? Yes, you can do. So we'll leave the tractor here. Let's turn the lights off, turn that off. And where is the sleep trigger? It will be inside, of course, knowing Oxygen and David. That's one door, two doors. Well, this is lovely. Bit too low in the ceiling for me, but got a little statue. I don't know what we should do about collectibles out like that. Oh, that's a lovely bath. Right, where is our bedroom? Well, that's a very fancy bedroom for one that isn't the master bedroom. That's cool, all little details like that. I was just seeing whether that was a collectible or not. Fireplace. Where's the master bedroom? Don't say this is... Okay, I was just about to say, if that's our bed compared to that room there. Oh, look, the fire's on. Right, let's sleep, and I will see you in the morning. So we have just been fined for the animal feed policy and fined £800. So I am going to... when we in between this episode and the next, I'm going to go and just look up what the red tape mod, all about it, because I cannot afford to keep being fined £800 all the time when I don't really know what it's about, because all it said was the animal feed. So we'll go have a look. But anyways, let's get into here and let's go find our sprayer. Because even thinking about it, we don't have any animals, so how can I be fined for not doing the animal feed when we have no animals. Sounds a bit backwards to me. But right, let's hook that on. Let's put that on, and pipes and electrical. Oh, we do actually have some fertilizer in here. I just presumed... Well, that's a fertilizer tank, isn't it? So let's fill up with that. That makes a bit more sense. And do we have... That's still on the floor, all our equipment was down. Does this... I don't think it's got any sensors on it. So we are going to have to look at some point sorting that out. We also need to know how wide it is, because I do want to get tram lines into these fields, but I'm not putting them in until I know the width of the sprayer. So steering assist, one is 24 metres. Is it possible for us to up that? We should be able to, I would have thought. But right, we'll get this sprayed, and we're going to see a lot of fertiliser being used, considering it's a canola field. Well, I think 24 metres is more than enough, but if we have a look, which one have we got? That one. Okay, 24 metres is as wide as we can go with it, which there's not too many tram lines in there. They'll put quite a few in, but not hundreds. And I quite like having the ones that can go on the back like this one does. It just makes life that bit easier, that you're not navigating, reversing backwards and forwards with a trailed one. But, right, that is now done. So let's go and see if we can get the rest of this IBC into here, otherwise we'll have two, which I'm need to minimise, so that we don't have loads of them about. And then we probably also want to go and get a pallet of, or an IBC of herbicide. So we'll just get the one for now. And in doing that, I want to have a look. Does our thing have... No. I'd like to know whether that does have the... It definitely doesn't have the weed, the weed one with the sensors and whatnot, but how that was turning on and off, that's either because of the Isaria Pro, or it's to do with we have the sensors for the liquid fertilizer, which we haven't been able to get in and do, so we are going to have to settle for 2 IBCs. What do we do? Time. Shall we go and get the herbicide and then herbicide it, and then then this field is just done. We don't have to do anything with it, and we can focus on the next episode, because the poppy field should be... Let's just have a look. Yeah, the poppy field is ready for harvesting. We also need to go back down there, and that was canola, so we need to go put some wheat into that in this in-day month, which, as you can see, is now saying September 1, so that means we will spend 2 days in September. So with the IBC, we can't do anything other than just pretend like we're pumping in. Whilst obviously the line bags, we can lift them up and put them over the spreaders and so on, but we do need to try and make sure that there is a vehicle, which it would have been really nice if you could get into that and then use that instead. But we'll put one down. I did toy as well, thinking about should we get the front tank so we can make sure that we can take a whole IBC with us, and I've gone against that on purely just to save on money. I think we've done our silly spend on buying ourselves a set of rollers. And these cars, they're all speeding. Like, I'm going 30 mile an hour. Ooh. 32 miles an hour, so I'm speeding, and they're all pulling away from me. I'm going to slow down. I've got to put some speed signs up or something. So I've had another very foolish moment on about the liquid fertiliser. I completely forgot that we have these silos which are right next to where our fertiliser is, which I believe I can put both the herbicide and the fertiliser in, so it doesn't matter how many IBCs I have, because we can put them all away. Such a silly moment from me. Or at least I hope we can put the fertiliser in. The herbicide in. Okay, so herbicide it's saying not. Let's just dump that there. But I'm sure the fertiliser, it came up with a thing saying that we can put it into here. Sure, it said so. So let's pull up next to it. There we go. So dump the fertiliser, and then we'll get the other load of fertiliser dumped in, and then we'll just have to find somewhere to put the herbicide. But I think at this current moment in time, finding somewhere for the herbicide isn't a necessity. So let's put that in, and then yes, so that field now should be as best as what it can be. I don't think there's any more that we can do for it to get the maximum yield. So the only thing now will be to do with the moisture, that as long as we can harvest it at the correct time with the correct moisture, we should be absolutely fine. And is that going to go? Yes. We may even be able to put the herbicide into here, keep it all together. So let's drop that down, and if we go to here, that out, and drop, that is another very, very good day. And what I do want to just go have a look before I leave you is go have a look at our poppy field, because that is saying that it is ready to harvest, and that will be one of the first jobs in the next month. And we should have our combine, yes, that's around here, ready to go, ready to harvest. That'll do. And what's the, does it tell me the moisture? Expected range between 9 and 23. That's not very good. Oh, yield potential 125%. That's brilliant. Potential harvest quality 5,500 litres. That's not very good. And I am toying with what to do with the plough, because I don't have it. It's one of the only things I don't have turned on is periodic ploughing. So I don't know whether it may be worth just selling it, or if we see how much it's worth, it may just be worth keeping the thing. Okay, there's a bit of money there. I will sleep on that one of what to do, because I believe it may be worth just selling it, because I don't think we are going to need a plough. And by the time we do need a plough, then we should be in a position to buy the same one, if not a bigger one. But anyways, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all liked and enjoyed the video. I'm going to go off and learn a bit more about the red tape mob. So I'll catch you later. Bye for now.